What's something that we wouldn't know? Like the general public or people like me wouldn't know about what it's like being in the news business.
You basically commit to your job. You really won't, you don't, I mean.
It's not a 9 to 5.
This is not a 9-to-5 job, no way. No, because you're pretty much on whatever breaks, and everyone here is super committed to what they do. I would probably say about 85 to 90% of everyone here are news junkies. They love to report it. They're very passionate about it. They're hardworking. I mean, literally, if they could, they'd probably sleep here all day.
Now we're going up to the control room. All the magic happens.
This is where all the magic happens. The director, the producer. I think it's only 3 right now. So, and then we also have the news assistant doing the teleprompter, running the teleprompter. So.
Yeah. Who's writing the scripts for the teleprompter?
So the producers and the writers have it all set up already. They insert it into the Delete software. So it's already all done. So they've inserted it into the program of how it goes. And so the director pulls each file out and then shoots it out.
I imagine the anchors kind of get to read it, but it may get changed up a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. They'll put some notes. A lot of them are almost ad-lib. You know, kind of some of them are. Some read verbatim, and then some kind of put their own spin to it.
Yeah.
So you have Larry there.
I'm gonna do it after weather.
I don't know but she's the producer, and then Maria is our teleprompter. So he is running, you see the program, he'll pull in what needs to be done and fed in. And if there's anything breaking, she'll know and then feed it to the director. And then the director is controlling the cameras, everything from here. And of course, you know, we're seeing the other stations.
Funeral services will take place tomorrow for Dodgers great Fernando Valenzuela.
And we have a second delay.
A
second delay.
It is open to the public on a first-come basis.
I can't imagine being an anchor, trying to read those words coming by. Like, I would just goof that up.
I think they, so some of them, I've asked them, right? Some of them are so used to their own, they're used to it so much that I think it's more harder for the teleprompter person because you kind of want to go at their speed. There's
so you
some
can
that
adjust
speaks,
the speed. Yeah.
right? Some speaks, obviously, like Ellen speaks fast. And then David Onon is this little bit slower, or Philip is a lot slower. And then you got different anchors that are, so I think once you do it, once they've been doing it a few times, it's
if you're doing it for
second
a few
nature,
years, then,
right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of them have been doing it for like 25 plus 30 years. Yeah. Colleen Sullivan is the only one that's been around for about 11. And everyone out in the field is all, they have an idea what they're gonna say, but it's all.
It's crazy how good they are at ad-libbing though.
Yeah, some people just have the knack for it, like they just do.
I just don't think I could do it like that. And be
me either.
and
And let alone a mic in my hand and a camera, like like the brain doesn't wanna, for me. I get interviewed a lot. They'll ask me because I do community engagement. As long as I don't see the camera, you can be behind me or whatever, I'm okay. But once, hey Matt, and once the camera's in front of you, you're just like, okay. It's different. It's different. I get mute all of a sudden. I'm a talker. I think they're still updating this one, but it's in essence the same thing. They're updating softwares and stuff. So, and I think with given the elections, they may have to pivot. But we always have one, and then we have another one there too as well. But that hasn't been updated yet.
So you guys are gonna have more and more people coming up through the evening and all night because of this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Are you guys ready in case there's like a riot or something that happens?
Yeah, we have all this. So basically, it's all hands on deck right now. Like everyone's ready for whatever's to come. Though we know that more than likely we won't know the winner tonight.
Right, because it's so close.
Yeah, it's so close. So it might be during the week, or so basically up until they say pretty much the weekend, where everyone's pretty much hands on deck for any breaking. Yeah. So everyone's out in the field. Everyone.
How many vans do you have?
Someone told me there's upwards of, I think it's like 30 vans we have out. And then you don't only have an actual news van, you have smaller mini vans or whatever that we use. And then some of the reporters go out in their own car. You know, a lot of it now is Apple. Everyone's one stop now with the Apple, you can do everything. Yeah, because a lot of times what they'll do is they'll meet their photographer and the reporter. They'll go in the van, cut whatever they need, and then they send their stories out for their piece. There's some I understood, yes, that there's an app, and I think it has to do with this delete that they have, that they insert the schedule, and they know exactly what time they have, how many seconds they have per story.
Oh, it says 3-second delay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 seconds.
Or is it 5?
Seconds.
Okay, you're right, 5. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is another station manager right here.
Yeah.
And then they're upgrading everything. These are some more producers and writers.
That is just like.
Yeah, I live my life now by seconds. Now that I've started working in the television business, you're like, 30 seconds is actually a long time.
A lot. I mean, when I stand at the microwave and I'm waiting for 30 seconds, I'm like, I could be doing something while this thing's cooking.
Well, a story happens in 30 seconds, 30 to about a minute. I don't know if we still have the censor. I think it might be the director or the producer that holds that button. So it's Larry, and I think it doesn't look like it's Stephanie, but it's somebody else. Rita.
And what are they doing?
So she's looking for emails. She's inserting the stories that are coming up, and then she's telling the director, okay, it's in, and then he clicks. Yeah, he's the one that sends it to them for the next segment, and then both of them are speaking to them via their ear, the earpieces.
Oh, cool. Okay, so they have the teleprompter in their earpiece.
Yeah, everything. So in essence, what used to be like 10 people in the studio, you're down to 3.
Yeah.
So the director does like 5 or 6 jobs, the same with the producer, and then of course you have over here, it's a news assistant that does the teleprompter.
So there he is. They're using the other room right there.
Right. And then it says, like, for instance, like Danny, it says ablid.
Oh.
So he uplids the weather, right?
He's so good at it, though.
And they're speaking. So, for instance, did she show you guys the transmission room and all that? So they're like, so if there's breaking, boom, you're either going to see someone come in here and tell them, or somebody's calling them or sending them an email. Hey, this just broke. You need to make space for blah, blah, blah. Then they have to figure out what story they can go off the schedule and put the breaking news in. And then sometimes if it's breaking news, like the whole schedule's gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
Like you just
If it's a big enough story.
Yes. And let me tell you, Chase's #1 audience, everybody will stop to watch a car chase.
Yeah.
Never fails.
Yeah.
And it's so popular that if we'll cover it, like for instance, I think right now there's a car chase, crashes into, oh no, this is something else. When there's a car chase, we will follow it until a point or until they tell, because unfortunately, because we have network, ABC network, sometimes we can't break into it. So we'll follow us on our CTV app or online, and the pursuit will continue there. And people will watch.
You've got the helicopters.
Yeah, they will. They love car crashes.
That's a lot of fun.
I remember I've watched one before. What was 9/11 like? Was that just all news canceled until?
I believe so. I wasn't here when that happened, but I understood that it was. Yeah, Teresa was here for that. She says it was pretty much everybody. Teresa and I we contribute in the news as in like we have, because we're out at the pulse of the community, so we give them, tips. Hey, they need somebody to talk to about something. We connect with them. But
are you holding the phone down here?
Okay. Just.
And then
I can hold. No, I'm just holding it here.
And then but yeah, so it's so like we don't really necessarily, but she was telling me when 9/11, like it was everybody came down to help because there was just a scramble. It's interesting because they were on the, obviously in the East Coast, right? So it was like 5 a.m. So they called everybody.
Everyone to wake up and get in here.
You get in here, yeah.
Dang.
Sometimes you'll have anchors here late that just happen, like the 11 and then they get pulled in, and then they start calling who can come in, and then whoever comes in. Yeah.
Wow, it's like being a firefighter.
Pretty much, you're on call. If God forbid there's, breaking news, you need someone. Ironically, like David Ono, he happened to be vacationing in Maui when the Maui fire happened. So him being there, busted his camera, his iPhone, and said, listen, I'm here. So he started feeding. We were one of the first stations that got coverage because he happened to be there.
Instead of like the local syndicate reporters or whatever.
Right.
How do you work with the pool reporters or all the other stations, right? Because sometimes there's like traveling pools.
Well,
right?
yeah. There's, I mean, you pretty much know who's working where and what. I think some reporters have the same beat. So like you're covering LA City, or some are covering Orange County, or some Ventura. So they kind of already know it's the same individuals assigned for those places. So they kind of already know each other. of course, everybody's looking to break the news first, right?
Yeah.
So whatever angle they can get. But for the most part, everyone's very respectful. I think from, you know, it's KTLA's Channel 5 here. KTLA is our biggest competitor because now they have put more news on. And since they don't have, like, say, a network going, they have more time for news. So,
for local. Yeah.
local. And then behind us is NBC, and then Fox, and then CBS.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm yelling in
Come on.
front of you.
Come on. That's all good. I love it. Love it.
But yeah, but that's KTLA changed the market completely because they went from they basically have news from like 4 a.m. till like 2 p.m. It's all news.
How can there be enough news? I feel like that's an ignorant question. But
It seems like, well, they're repeating obviously some of the news, right? But then they're doing more variety shows. Like it becomes like a show about different topics, almost like a talk show. But they still have it labeled as news.
Yeah, you're not doing 0.5, are you?
This is all our old. So this is our archives, our library tapes for stuffs. Ironically, somebody pointed out on one of the tours. 9/11 is on here.
Is it chronological? Oh, there it is by the date.
Here, 9/11. Yeah, I was standing and someone said, "Hey, is that 9/11?" They're in the process right now of feeding all of this digital.
Wow.
Yeah, they're getting it now. They got codes and stuff, so now we know where to. Because you imagine we're 75 years of content.
That's so much. It's like you're running
It's
out
a lot.
because you have all the boxes.
Oh yeah,
you
the
don't
boxes still need to be done. I think these
Beta.
might have been already. Yeah.
It's not even like VHS, huh?
No, it's beta. But that's pretty much it. And we have the breaking news cam, like we have that, you know.
What's upstairs? Is that the control?
No, upstairs is just our administrative offices. Like my office is upstairs, our GM office, conference. ABC LA, the news bureau for network is up there, but they're pretty like closed set. But that's it. And then the third floor is what we call own television stations, our administrative offices. So we're one of 8 television stations owned by the Walt Disney Company. We have here, Fresno, San Francisco, Houston, Chicago, Raleigh-Durham, New York, and Philly. So we are actually owned by the Walt Disney Company.
What is that like, being owned by Disney instead of just being an independent news syndicate or whatnot?
It's different because we have to abide by corporate rules, which is a little bit different. And even though we abide by FCC rules, there is sometimes we may get to be a little bit more freer to do stuff that Disney wouldn't generally do.
Right.
But it is sometimes we do have to deal with corporate standards, right? That maybe a syndicate wouldn't necessarily have to, like or an affiliate, right? Like an ABC affiliate. Yeah.
That's anytime you have a larger parent company.
Correct. And then since we are owned, most of all our television stations now have the same graphics, the same, so they know that those 8 television stations are run by the Walt Disney Company, are owned by the Walt Disney Company. Even though we keep our brand, ABC News or ABC, whatever it is, City. Disney still, and we have to note that Disney is a parent company of ABC.
So is there a Marielle of each of the 7 or 8?
Yes, there is. We have our counterparts, correct. There's 8 of us.
Okay.
And there's like 8 GMs and 8 of everybody, basically,
8 of these.
But it's kind of nice because everybody is centered. Like we have our Philadelphia station, so they're going to feed us stuff for Pennsylvania, Texas. So we do share contact, which is kind of nice. So if a story does happen on the other side, instead of us sending a reporter, they're feeding us. We can use their reporter to feed us the information.
Less workload on you.
Correct. So it does help in that aspect. We can do some synergy and more collaboration at a local level. Yeah. And some stories are important in LA that can be important in New York, right? So that's the plus side on it. But then it's also stations have always had their unique demographics and their unique markets. So sometimes you lose your uniqueness when you're too cookie cutter.
But you still have local coverage here.
Correct.
You have to balance between what's LA versus national, right?
Right, exactly. I mean, there is a difference, and even in market, even here in Fresno, 2 different markets. And San Francisco is a whole nother market. So Yeah. So everybody tries to, they're collective colleagues. We share best practices together just to make sure that maybe we're missing something that one community is seeing and one isn't.
What's the coolest part of your job, Marielle?
That I get to meet all sorts of people. No, I really have. I mean, you meet, obviously you meet delegates, you meet mayors, you meet celebrities that come in for a story, or you meet the community. You're hearing the voice of the community, telling you what's important to them. Like I'm out there doing, different walks, we have a street team. We go to different fairs, special causes, like collecting toys. Our Sparkle Love that's going to launch next week is the big one, our toy drive. And just meeting everyone who does, like I'm so fascinated by how many people it does take to put the news on, and people are not aware of how big it is or how many are behind the scenes. But yeah, just meeting different people of all walks of life.
How do you keep up with the variety? There's so many things.
I'll
There's
be
no,
honest
like,
with you,
schedule,
we just
right?
do it. Whatever's important, or whatever the story of the day is, right? What's the issue of the day, I guess you can say more like, and what's important. So yeah, we try to be in every space. I know we can't, but we try as best as we can to be in every space.
That is awesome.
But I like, because I get to give back to the community. So that I grew up here. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, so it's kind of nice to give it back. Oh, there you go. See, so it's just nice. And then most of us here are from the LA area, so like Dodger fans, I'm sure. Hardcore in here.
I watched the Dodgers way back then.
Yeah, me too. I watched when Fernando was playing. That's when my dad
he had the
used to take us.
fastball. I can't believe he's old or he died, whatever, but that was, I remember him from the 80s.
Yeah, when Steve Garvey played,
Yep.
which right now is one of the big contingents right now with the election today, the Senate, which is Adam Schiff against Steve Garvey. And then we have like 10 propositions right now too that were, and then there's local, like our district attorney for LA is another big competition right now. And there's some other ones that are pretty, hopefully we'll get some results tonight, but we'll see. Some are too close to call.
What's something that we wouldn't know? Like the general public or people like me wouldn't know about what it's like being in the news business?
You basically commit to your job. You really won't,
It's not a 9 to 5.
This is not a 9 to 5 job, no way. No, because you're pretty much on whatever breaks, and everyone here is super committed to what they do. I would probably say about 85 to 90% of everyone here are news junkies. They love news. They love to report it. They're very passionate about it. They're hardworking. And they literally, if they could, they'd probably sleep here all day.
How do you sustain that? How do you get your energy to keep up?
I don't know. It's just this passion. It's a passion that people have
It's like sports.
for news.
It's the thing. They just
They just do it. They love it. They love it so much that, they'll stay up late, do whatever needs to. They'll do anything to get the news on air.
What do you think drives people when they're younger to decide that they want to be in the news business?
Two things. Some are very passionate about writing and producing and behind cameras, especially now with social media. There's now more opportunity to do news on social, right? Yeah. So I think having a base here and learning from experts here and then taking it on themselves has helped a lot of young. Yeah. I also think that a lot of the young people coming into the business, they're just super news junkies and just want to be on air. Yeah. Simply
you think there's a Hollywood influence, like being here?
Correct. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You have
Why are we shaking?
George Pinocchio. He's great. Yeah, there is, because we happen to be here in LA and we have our entertainment reporter, and he literally on the red carpet, he's the host of that, and he feeds the rest of the stations because we just happen to be Hollywood's right here in our backyard with all the premieres and junkets. So yeah, the young kids, I think there is an allure about being in front of the camera. I mean, we've had pretty interns, we've had news assistants. They either know they want to be a reporter or an anchor. Yeah. So they get trained. Usually what they do is they'll get some experience here and then go to a smaller market. They randomly go to a smaller market and then come back for the bigger one.
Got it. They go to the minor leagues first.
Right. But some right off the bat. Yeah. Like we've had a few community journalists we hired. Ashley Mackey's one, Sophie Flay. We've had some really great young journalists that started that just knew exactly, didn't have to go to work. They were basically trained here. So
And they
we're
resonate
seeing
with
a
the
lot
younger
more of that.
demographic too.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have a lot of social media producers now. They're doing really well. And some of them are half behind the scenes and half filming, talking themselves and providing us content for digital.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because it's, we've been told linear is dying in linear television, but it is very much pivoting to digital, right? Because we feed into content for Hulu, for Disney Plus, for all of those entities. People still want to see the news. Maybe it's in a different format, or smaller segments, right? So
what do you think about like Twitter as citizen journalism versus like the news, or people talk about mainstream media or that kind of thing?
Well, that problem is we got labeled.
Yeah.
Right, because you had the top three was CBS, ABC, and NBC.
Right.
But now you have all these other outlets, and you have these social media journalists. I think they're doing a really good job. I guess it's preference. I mean, the older generation chose they were viewing, or the top three, right? Yeah. Now, because the audience and the viewership is different in the way they consume news, now you're seeing more content, more options, and doing the top three. And of course, the rhetoric they were hearing, everyone's giving us, whatever bad news, the news. Trust me, we either get you guys are great, or we don't trust you. Yeah. So.
Or they just want to follow a personality.
Right. Right. And there's some of our talented, man, they have a huge following. And that's because they trust them. Because they're out in the community and they trust them.
Yeah. So. Come on through.
Yeah.
I feel the energy here. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's cool.
I can't imagine later tonight.
Has it been the same building for all these years?
No, we moved in here in 2000. They used to be at Prospect Studios, which is where the original ABC station was. Now they film General Hospital, and I believe Dancing with the Stars. They buy out a down stage there, and then that's where they film that. It's actually a Disney-owned property now.
Wow.
Yeah.
When did ABC become Disney?
1995. The acquisition, they bought Cap Cities.
Okay.
It was Cap Cities owned ABC, and then they merged, and then it was about 95, 96 when that happened, and Bob Iger came from ABC.
Oh yeah.
That's how he started. He actually started as a production assistant in New York.
Wow.
For ABC News, and he worked his rank into Disney. He worked obviously on the network side, and then when Disney was acquired, then he worked his way into the Disney side. Wow. Yeah, he became CEO in 2005.
How did he do that? So
it's cuckoo. We actually, our previous GM and him started at the same time. They both retired. They had 50 years with the company.
Dang.
50 years.
Yeah,
but then
25
he came back.
ABC, and then the other 25 with Disney. Yeah, he came back. The previous CEO was not that great. Yeah, I mean, he built what we know Disney now. I mean, after Eisner left, Iger really built the success we have now. That's really his Iger.
Yeah,
all about Iger.
You worked so hard, you got a heart attack. And he still kept working.
Yeah. So it was about 95 when they acquired. So they're looking at 30 years now since they acquired that. Yeah. So a lot of people here were working for Cap Cities. So I mean, maybe 60% of a lot of these folks are here 20 plus, 25 years, 30 years, doing what they love, news. Yeah, you have to have a passion for it, or else, because people will be here, they're going to be here all night.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of them.
I don't see a lot of coffee.
Oh no, it's all in there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be running all night.
Right, right.
Yeah. I've never met a group of people because I do obviously I'm passionate about community.
Because you're out there.
I'm out there, but then they're here and it's a whole different.
It's like you're a bee in a swarm. I get that feel, the hive, everyone, all the bees want to be in the hive.
And I think it's just starting only because they're going to get ready at 4 to start covering the elections.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's.
Look, I was doing some makeup.
Hi,
on that
Ellen.
guy. Hi.
How you doing? Good.
Look like a celebrity. Look at her.
Yeah, hearing about how people were in Hawaii reporting. You know, I think before walking in here, I thought about news stations more as like a machine, you know, the way it's portrayed. But now, after seeing the people here, I feel like it's more of like a team of people that just want to get you the information together.
Right, and factual information. Trust me, we are all like, we don't want to, because again, everybody wants to be factual. We don't want misinformation out there. We're really big on that, and they're very thorough. We have everyone to the writers, producers, like, hey, double check, make sure, you know, triple check, all that. Yeah, we're very. It's a family here, honestly. Everyone is like, we want to put the best product we can, and we only can do that as a team.
I feel that. Yeah. It doesn't feel like a big corporation.
No.
Like everyone knows each other, and like there's like a genuine
yeah, are you kidding me?
warmth
Like
here.
everybody knows. Like it's like everyone here is Norm. You know, everybody knows everybody's name. So, which is kind of nice. Yeah. Even upstairs, like from the finance team to our marketing team, our community team. You met Teresa. Everybody's just very, very, very.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Anything else to see here?
No, that's
we've
it.
Done the tour,
that's it. That's the tour. You saw the Emmys and the awards we got out here.
We didn't get a chance to look at that. Let's take a couple more pictures.
Yeah, this is some of our Ed Murrow awards that we received on the Radio Television Association, and a couple of our Emmys. I think one of them's for our pursuits. See, we got an Emmy for one of the pursuits, our Pride Parade. We did the special. That was new. We were the first television station to air the LA Pride Parade. It was never done before.
So the Emmy, that's the highest award in TV, right?
Pretty much. And then you get the Ed Murrow Award. I think between the Ed Murrow Award and the Emmy, those are the two top. Because that's radio, television, and news awards. For Faces, that's a David Ono got that one. And then Coastal Fire. Sometimes you just happen to be at the right place at the right time. And in that case, for him, that's what happened.
You got some people in Washington, D.C.? Oh, Philadelphia, okay.
Yeah, that's Matthew. Actually, he's based actually here in L.A. I see him all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have David Muir. I wanted to give you guys a little treat
Marielle.
here.
Look at that.
Thanks for coming out.
Look at that.
Oh, a hat.
Look, thank
That's
you.
great. Here, let's get this off in the video.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to
Yeah.
George Lopez, too.
Yeah. No, that's great. I'm glad you guys were able
Hey,
to
look at that.
come.
I'm now like a
You're official.
honorary TV reporter. It even fits. Got a bottle. Nice.
Yeah.
I think
You're
Order
welcome.
for duty. Ready to
it's
get
all
some
right.
coverage.
I'm going to cover some news for you.
Lord, carry my
Your ABC affiliates in Vegas.
That's right.
Yeah.
From LA, though, but yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank
I
you,
really
Mara. That was
appreciate
a
it.
lot of fun. I
Yeah,
appreciate
you're very
it.
welcome.
That was such a cool tour.
You're very welcome.
I'm
glad
sure you
you
do it
guys
all the
got
time.
learned. I hope you guys learned a little bit more about the television station. I think we love having everybody just come and see. I think maybe our station is very unique where it's not as, I think like you guys said before, it's a little more.
I've been in other studios when I've been on TV, and they're real regimented about the time and the being quiet and the security, and you guys are way cooler than any I've ever seen. Yeah.
No, which I mean, this is a place, you know, we're here. We want to teach everyone, you know, share what the news is all about. We get a lot of college and high school kids come in, and junior high, where they're already they're interested in journalism, and they have like their little TV shows at school. So when we show them and see stuff, they're like, oh yeah, and then they'll call us. I've had a few of them give me little business cards, and I'll give them a business card, and they'll say, well, how do you do? And we share with them some, like, you know, best practices, and they'll go do it, and they're like, thank you. But that's how you instill, like, let kids know that there's more jobs out there than what they see on television, right? Be a sports celebrity, or be a celebrity, or be, you know. So there's a lot behind the scenes. You know, it's not just reporters and anchors, right? There's like his show, there's a whole team behind it. Who's going to be up for a long time tonight.
We have a lot of young adults in our program that are learning about the support stuff, like running the ads and building the websites and editing, and it's opposed to like being the on-camera talent.
The face, yeah.
So if there's other opportunities where I can make a donation or whatever, and maybe bring a small group for a tour, I would love to arrange something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You tell me however we can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Do you have I have your contact information.
Yeah, we can coordinate via email.
Right.
So I'll just reply to the email.
Yeah, just reply to me and we can do that. That would be great.
Yeah, because I want more people to understand and have an appreciation versus the whole like, oh, it's fake news or mainstream media. It's like they're all saying the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they don't know.
They don't know.
It's just a lack of education.
We literally thrive ourselves as being, we try to give honest, factual information, and we're professional about it. We make sure we're not, there's no fluff here. We're trying to get the story out and the actual story out, not.
But on social media, people can twist it to whatever they want.
Well, that's the problem, right? That social media is good for one thing and it's also bad for another, right? I mean, we have stories both sides. It's not just one-sided.
Right.
We share both sides of the story.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of them are skewed.
But the young adults especially, I want them to see that.
Yeah. Absolutely. We can do something.
Yeah.
A small tour, that would be fun.
Awesome, Marielle. Yeah, that was great.
Well, thank you. Nice meeting you.
Thank you for having us.
No, thank you. It was nice meeting you both.
Yeah.